Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. So today we are going to learn our new chapter of EVS. Now you can see the screen which is shown the subject content, that is fuels we use. So students, I hope all of you are well acquainted. You all must have seen that which energy is been used to move a car, to move a vehicle. So you all must have seen that your parents, while you are going outside by using your own personal vehicle, car, scooty, bike, so your parents are going to petrol pump, so there refill the petrol and they are using petrol to move their vehicle. So petrol is been used as a fuel which produced energy to move a vehicle. So all of you must have seen your mother, your parents cooking while preparing food for you. So like to make energy, to produce energy while preparing food. Okay, so what they have been used, so like they are using wood, they are using LPG, they are using kerosene, so like this. So that's all are called your fuels. You can see in the screen, children, which is in with your heading, which is given in your the some of the images, like LPG cylinder, petrol, coal. So these all are called your fuels that we are using in our day-to-day life. So here in this chapter, basically, as it is started with your Sina's talk, here Sina wants to say, Sina heard one day one news like this about the shortage of these fuels nowadays, and she asked her father about the reason why these resources or these fuels are getting shortage, diminishes day by day. So then after, his father replied her back, so about these uses, what is means, how the people are using these fuels, and this is, as it is really precious for us, we should conserve these resources, these fuels. So we are in this chapter, basically we are going to learn so different kinds of fuels, what is the definition of fuels, then what are the ways, what are the vehicles that are operated by without fuels, and some of the methods that we can conserve the fuels, and some of the way we can use like alternate fuels. So these are the things that we are going to read in this chapter. So let's start. So fuel, how we can define the fuel. Fuel is a substance by which we can produce heat and energy. Okay, so like the examples are, we can see here petrol, okay, then diesel, kerosene, you can see kerosene, then we can see CNG, LPG, and coal, and these all are the some of the common fuels that we are using in our day-to-day life, like fuels that we are using while we are cooking our food, and we are using these fuels in the vehicles. Okay, so vehicles are run by using these fuels. Then we are using these fuels in the factories, industries to run several machineries, equipments. Okay, so these fuels we are using as well as in the factories to produce electricity. Okay, so now next content of our chapter, like we can say some of the fuels like your coal, petroleum, natural gas, these all are occur naturally. So this is comes under your which fuels which are produced, which can be like we are getting some of the fuels which can we are getting, which is made by the nature itself. These fuels are called natural fuels. Okay, so like some of the fuels like your examples are coal, petroleum, natural gas. Okay, so how they made up, so they are made up like these are also called your, they are made up while like by the remain of plants, dead remains of plants and animal waste. So when they buried deep inside the earth's surface, so after millions of years ago, they been they these like remain of the dead plants and animals, they are get buried deep under the earth's surface, and after millions of years ago they have turned into the natural fuels, and they are also called the fossil fuels. So these fossil fuels, why? The reason behind these, when means they are formed, by these reasons they are called fossil fuels, when they buried deep inside the earth's surface, and it takes the time period of formation which takes a long years. So that's why we need to conserve this, because we don't know when it will get renewed, when it will, we can reconvert or reget these resources of energy like your coal, petroleum. So for that reason they are also called the non-renewable sources of energy. Okay, so now next another thing which is given in your chapter, like your sunlight, wind, water, animal and plants, they are found like it is abundantly found with us. So by these resources we can use and we can convert it, we can produce some of the sources of energy by using sunlight. We can use solar energy by using wind, we can produce wind energy. By using water we can produce tidal energy. Okay, so these, like, we can produce some of the energy, and these we can produce again and again when it's finished. So this, that's why we can renew this energy by time period. So that's why it is called the renewable sources of energy. Now you can see this is the wind energy picture, and this is the water energy we can produce here. Tidal energy, hydroelectricity we can produce by using water. Okay, so now you can, these all are energy is called your renewable sources of energy. So now we can go ahead with one of the example of one of the sources of energy which is comes under your non-renewable sources of energy, so which is your coal. Okay, so let us now study about some of the most important fuels like your coal. Like in this coal we can say coal is called a solid fossil fuel because it is present in a solid state, hard state. Okay, and in earlier days it was used in small stoves which is called angathis for cooking or preparing food, and as well as to provide heat to the homes. So it is also used to provide heat to the homes, and it was also used to run some of the factories as well as in the steam engines, to move the to move the trains by using steam engines. Then you can see this is called your angathis, how the coal has been used to make the food, and this is like in the factories, and this is in your steam engines. This is also coal has been used in factories, to run the factories, to produce electricities. Okay, and now and as well as coal is also is the large sources of energy to generate the electricity, and we can use also coal to produce some of the other products like your in the industry. So which electricity has been used by the help of producing with the help of coal. We produce the electricity, and that has been used to make different products like your steel, iron. You can see steel, iron and paper, then cement industry, and many other industry we can say. Okay, so then after we can say next example is petroleum. So petroleum is a black, and it has a different peculiar smell, and it is also called as a crude mineral oil. Okay, and it is also we can say as a black gold. Okay, so it is formed as well as the same process, like you know that all the natural fuels has been made by the same process. Okay, so this is the process as the same the coal has been produced. So that's why it comes under your non-renewable sources of energy. Okay, so how we can extract the coal, how we can extract the petroleum? So we can find this petroleum near the sea areas. So it has been preserved in the reservoirs, and this mineral oil or petrol is taken out from the reservoirs by drilling method, by drilling deep wells, and by when the time after taking out this mineral from the reservoirs, we are sending this petroleum to get refined. Okay, so at the time of refine, as it is a crude oil and it is a mixture of many compounds, many other products is also mixed with this petroleum. So at the time of refining, we are getting several other products, like we can say kerosene, wax, paraffin wax, diesel, LPG, CNG. So these petrol and diesel, these are used in vehicles. Paraffin wax we are using to make the candles. LPG and kerosene that we are using to make or to prepare the foods. So next content which is given, which is your natural gas. So natural gas also we are getting from the nature itself, and so it is also preserved with your petroleum in the oil wells, and it is also used as domestic as well as industrial fuel. So this natural gas, we are getting this natural gas from the oil wells by through the pipelines. Though see this from this natural gas we are getting like CNG, compressed natural gas. So this compressed natural gas is can be used in some of the vehicles, to run some of the vehicles. So and why it has been used? It is a clean fuel because it doesn't create any pollution, it doesn't cause any pollution. So that's why it has been used in many of the vehicles to run, to move, and so that's why it is called the clean fuel. So and it is also cheaper than the petrol and diesel price. So we can get this CNG by directly from the field through the pipelines. So now you can see the pipelines picture, how we can get the CNG. So now next content which is given in your chapter, vehicles which runs without fuel. Okay, some of the vehicles that we are using in our day-to-day life that can run without fuel, like your rickshaw we are using, and bicycle, we are using tongas, we are using bullock carts, we are using camel carts. So these all the things that is driven by, pulled by the animals, which requires the animal force to move to move from one place to another place, and it has without any fuel we can move from one place to another place by through these vehicles. Okay, so now next content which is given, some of the other uses of fuel. So we are using these fuels like many other uses also, like coal is used to produce electricity. Some of the factories, they are using coal as a fuel. So you can see the factories are how they are using to produce electricity. Kerosene also used as fuel in stoves to prepare food. LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, it is a byproduct of petroleum, means we are getting this product at the time of refining petroleum. So it is a eco-friendly fuel which we are using in our every one's home to prepare food. At the time of preparing food, we are using this LPG, as it is a eco-friendly fuel without creating any pollution to the air. So diesel, which we are using to generate or to produce electricity, and in some of the vehicles also we are using as a fuel this diesel. So you can see this diesel is also like you can see the car is running by using this diesel, and it's convert energy which can run this car. So like conserve, how can we conserve our fuel? Okay, which is very much important. So beside most of the fuels cause air pollution and contribute to the global warming, which create a bad impact for the nature, which contribute the bad, like polluted air, which releases polluted air to our environment and which leads a very negative impact to our nature environment and which causes the global warming. So we need to adopt some of the measures by which we can create a safe environment or pollution free environment. So some of the measures are, we can walk to the nearby places. Okay, we can walk to the nearby places, and we can use the carpools as much as possible. We can use bicycles for short distances, and we can use the public transport rather than the private vehicles, because in the public transport we can accommodate many of the people with the same fuel instead of these private vehicles. We should turn off our engines, vehicle engines, whenever we are waiting in the traffic lights, in the traffic signals. Okay, so next we know that fossil fuels, and the last content which is given, the alternate fuels, the fossil fuels are not only limited, so these are non renewable sources, so but also it is harm to our environment. So there is a continuous research is going on to find alternatives to fossil fuels. So such fuels that we are using instead of, we can use instead of these non-renewable sources of energy or natural fuels are called your alternate fuels. So like one of the alternate fuels is your biodiesel. So biodiesel, which is made from the vegetable oil and animal fat and which can be used as fuel in Europe. Liquefied hydrogen is also used as spacecraft fuel. Alcohol is also used as fuel in China, Russia, Brazil. Okay, it is also made from fermented sugarcane. Biogas is made from biodegradable waste such as your cow dung, manure, etc. And it is also used as fuel to cook food as well as to run different vehicles. Biogas also, you can see that biodegradable waste like such as cow dung we can using to while cooking the food, okay, and to run the different vehicles. Like electricity has been used to run trains, metro, trams and cable cars. You can see metro, trams, and this is your cable cars. So that's all given in the chapter. I hope students, all of you understood this chapter very well. So thank you everyone. Have a good day.